Hey there, this is IFBB Pro Roxy Beckles, and today I want to talk to you about what realistic fat loss results are. It's so crazy how when we decide to embark on a health and fitness plan, or when we decide to really change our bodies for the better, the worst in us often comes out. We become doubtful, we judge ourselves, and then we discourage ourselves just because of a number on the scale or because you perceive things to not be moving along the way that they need to be. So I want to talk to you about the things that you really should be paying attention to and to be thinking about when it comes to fat loss and what real results truly are. One of the things I want you to keep in mind is that if you are trying to aim for rapid fat loss and dropping a huge amount of weight in a shorter amount of time, it's really going to be hard for you to keep that weight off for the long term. The other thing that's really bad about that is that not only are you going to be losing body fat, but you'll also be losing a lot of muscle. And that is the number one thing that is going to slow down your metabolism. So one of the number one things I want you to do is just throw out the scale to an extent. Now, I do think it is important to track your weight, especially for managing calories and how much you should be eating per day. But if you're going to let that number on the scale dictate your progress and drive you absolutely crazy, honey, let me tell you something. You have already lost at this game and you are not going to be able to get to your goals. So it's important to have a realistic perspective on what that scale is actually telling you. Now, keep in mind, the scale isn't really differentiating between muscle, water, body fat, bowel contents, the food that you've eaten. All that stuff is not being factored in. It's being factored, but it's not split up in a way where you can actually see what comprises what in your body. So just use the scale as a measure of progress. That's a part of the whole. That's a tool in the toolbox. Now, in general, they say that losing about 1 to 2 pounds a week is what normal fat loss or weight loss really is. But honestly, that really differs from person to person. And you've got to keep in mind that if you are weight training, you are not going to see that scale budge as quickly as someone who may not be, because remember, when you're talking about fat loss and weight loss are two different things. With fat loss, our main goal is maintaining, or even in some cases building muscle as we bring body fat down. Whereas with weight loss, we don't even care where the weight is coming off us. We just want it off, and that could be losing muscle, and that could be losing fat, it could be losing water. So there is a difference. And when you keep that in mind, then you get to see, oh, okay, this is why if I gain a half a pound of muscle over a period of 2 weeks or so, and I've lost a pound of fat, well, I've only lost a half a pound on the scale. So if you are using that scale, it is very deceptive. And you gotta think that muscle has more density than fat. So a half a pound of muscle may look like this, while a half a pound of fat looks like this. So if you lose this half a pound of fat, you're gonna be losing a lot more body mass than you would be, from gaining this muscle. So it's gonna look tighter on your body. You're gonna look leaner and more defined. And those are the things that you want to think about when it comes to your fat loss. So to keep a realistic view or a realistic pulse on your fat loss results, I want you to think about the other things that mean something to you when it comes to reaching your goals. How are you feeling? Are you feeling stronger in the gym? Are you feeling like you're making progress? That's all a part of results and what you're doing, the outcome of your efforts. Also, how are your clothes fitting? Are things getting looser on you? How are your measurements moving? These are the things that you want to pay attention to when it comes to your fat loss results. And those are the things that help you to keep a more realistic perspective. That way, when you step on that scale, it doesn't even matter what it says. If you are seeing the tangible changes that you can feel, that you can see, that you can touch, that trumps everything. And it's when you get that kind of relationship with your efforts and that kind of mindset, and you rewire yourself to think in that way, that you'll be able to see how far you can take your body. It's a whole new ball game once you start opening yourself up to that perspective. Now, another thing you want to keep a close perspective on as far as your fat loss results are concerned is how much time it might take for you to actually see long-lasting changes. Everybody wants things right now, but it takes time to see your body change and evolve. So you have to stick to the process. So again, keeping in mind that if the average fat loss is between 1 to 2 pounds a week, you're gonna fall within that ballpark. And depending on your own genetics and your body and how you respond to a plan, you might see yourself a little bit below that range or even sometimes a little bit above. Just keep in mind that rapid fat loss is not the answer, and establishing habits for what you're going to do in the long term is the answer, even if you are on a short intensive program. So the takeaway that I want you to get from this video is to get off the scale. Don't let it dictate your progress. Look at the grand picture, the grand scale. See that your measurements, how your clothes are fitting, how you feel, and how you look. Those are the things that you need to consider when it comes to realistically looking at your progress and how things are going with your program.